So now that you understand how regular expressions are used, actually you can go ahead and build your function yourself. But I have an exercise for you. We've got an error in this regular expression. Okay? You have to discover it yourself and just go ahead and comment under the video. Okay? We have an error here, 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 and here. Okay? We've got an error. So you have to discover it yourself. Okay? So just go ahead and check for private IP addresses and tell me the solution. So now we come up, or we come out to the formatting time according to syslog. If you remember, syslog, if we tell here, formatting or time formatting or message formatting is as follows. We have the month, the date of the month, and the date, the server name, the daemon name, and the message. If we go ahead and do Python, and from time we're gonna import ctime. Ctime returns actually the following. So I need to parse only the first or the second element, the third, and the fourth. Okay. So in order to do so, we can actually store this data to a table, but we are going to use the split function to split up this by a space. Okay, or by default it's the delimiter is space. We can split up this little actually by space, and if we print out t, as you can see here, we've got a list, and we can go ahead and do here t is equal to t string slicing from 1 to 4. This is the first element, this is the second, this is index 0, index 1, 2, 3. So I need from 1 to 4, so I'm gonna get this stuff. Okay, so now t is as follows. Now I can go ahead and join, actually using space, I can join the table. Okay, I can join the table using spaces. I can join all these stuff using the table. So or I can take each element of this list and join it using spaces. I'm using another method here, as you can see here. After performing the split and the string slicing, I am going to take the first index and concatenate it with a space, take the second index, concatenate it with a space, so on and so forth. So we are going to take to get the same output. Okay. Okay. So if we print out time and t or join, the join function, we pretty much get the same result. So that's the time formatting according to syslog. The reason I did it this way is to show you multiple ways, okay, to perform to do your bidding. The next function is the logger. The logger is a very straightforward function that accepts some parameters, and the reason why I said here none, I initialized each parameters as none, is actually the reason why is there are some cases where I need to call only the error and the server IP, and some cases I need to call all the other parameters. So if I will not call the action, for example, it wouldn't actually erase an error. Okay, that's the reason why I set here the none. So I'm gonna back after actually praying. See you after a while. So I'm back, everybody. So I've been praying, and we actually pray 5 times a day, and fortunately we must do it in time. So I don't remember what I've been talking about. So where was I? So let me check out the script. So we've been at the time formatting, okay? So now we're gonna talk about the logger function. I don't remember if I have talked to you about this function, but let's recap. So let's talk about it, okay? I don't remember actually, so let's talk about it. Actually, the logger function accepts some parameters. The first one is the error, serve IP, the IP in the action, and everything is initialized by none. The none actually would help us to when calling, if we're gonna call the function. So I have to answer the phone. Just a minute. So I'm back. I'm sorry, I've been talking with my friend. So as you can see here, the logger function would actually accept some parameters, as I told you, and we've explained the non value. And here, that's how to open up a file in Python in the append mode. There is some with like the read for reading, open up the file for reading, write for writing, and A for append. Append is, you're gonna add a line and append another line and append another line, and so on and so forth. So if the error is none, while the error is none, which means once no error has been passed to the function, actually we are going to, that means the command here, as you can see here, has been executed successfully. Okay, that means that the command has been executed successfully. So we are going to add the time plus the server IP, and adding a rule for the given IP address with action, which is the attacker IP address, with action drop. Okay, and we are going to close the file so the changes would be saved. Here the exception handling. In the exception handling, simply put, if an error occurred, or we've got, for example, permission denied to write into this file, we are going to store the error in the ERR variable, and we are going to pass it to the logger function, or to write it to the log file with the given informations. Okay, close the file. And if the error hasn't been none, actually we are going to report the error, because we've got some errors here like unknown Linux command, no route to blah blah blah, so on and so forth. So for the SSH here, let me go ahead and open up Python. I am going to import, actually from paramedic, I'm going to import the following. So let's import the following, and let's define a function. Oh, without defining the function, let me create the SSH client. So SSH client, and if we dart against SSH here, as you can see here, my friends, there's a couple of methods like connect, close, exec command, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and connect. In order to connect to the server, here we must provide the IP address, and the username variable is root, and the password is as follows. Okay, so we've got an error here. This is the exception. The exception handling says not found in known host keys. So if we actually go back here and do SSH over to this little IP address, as you can see here, we will be prompted to accept the fingerprints. So we have to accept the key or the fingerprints. So the key would be added to the SSH known hosts file. Okay, so in order to do so in Python, actually we have to call the set missing key policy variable. Okay, so SSH dot and this accepts a parameter. So the default policy is auto reject. So I am going to call parameter dot auto add policy. This is the one I'm interested in, but the default one is the reject policy. Okay, para. Okay, let's get rid of the parameter. Okay, if we dir parameter, let's import parameter. I'm sorry. So if we dir parameter, as you can see here, the auto add policy is here, and we've got another default policy which is reject policy. Okay, so this is the default behavior of parameter. So now we've got an SSH instance here, so we can go ahead and do SSH dot exec command. So we are going to cat etc password, and this actually returns the standard input as the first one, standard output, and the standard error. Okay, so session not active. Okay, so let's go ahead and connect first. Okay, I'm going to connect and then execute the command. And now if we do a for while for line in stdout dot read lines, we are going to read lines because this one is a list. Just go ahead and print out the line. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the result, the output, etc password file. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, set the host key missing, so to accept to add the public key to the known host. And but here we are providing some exception handling, so we can log the appropriate or log the errors accordingly. Okay, for example, if we would not be able to connect, the username and password is wrong, so an authentication exception is raised, so the error would be as follows. And we're going to close the SSH instance. If a timeout happened, that means that the server is not available, so we're going to print no route to the server. And actually here for command in command list, what's this? Simply put, if you remember, we've defined the command list here, and the command list is as follows, is an empty list. So I am going to add these stuff in a command list after changing the action, because remember the action is add and delete, but this is wouldn't be recognized by IP table, so we have to change the add by -i. So in order to do so, I've added it into the function, the main function. So if action.lower is add, what I'm gonna do, I am going to append the command into the command list, and the input chain command, I'm going to use the replace function. The replace function, simply put, for example, we have command, for example, is equal to IP tables add, for example, %s or 1.1.1.1 drop. This is an example. Okay, if we do cmd dot replace actually add by -i, as you can see here, IP tables -i has been put in instead of add. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm going to replace the action.lower, which is add, by action dict. That's how to access the dictionary. Okay, so for example, if we take the dict here, this dictionary, and put it here, and if we try to access the add key, its value is -i. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. Okay, and the same thing for the delete. And if an error occurred, actually in the command we are going to repoint unknown action. For example, if you're going to provide the add function, or other action, we are going to report that the action is not unknown action, and we are going to check if the IP address is valid. We are going to call the active and connect to the SSH. Okay, so let me go ahead and copy out all the script here, and vim test, and I'm going to copy it out here. And my friends, now I need to test it. So as you can see here, if we go scroll down here, actually here we have if the len of argv is not equal to 4. Since we have 4 arguments, the first one is the program name, the second one is the action, the third one is the user, the fourth one is IP. 4 arguments. So if the len of argv, the length of argv is not equal to 4, I'm going to print the usage and exit. Else we are going to proceed our work. Okay, so that's the usage test. So the action is drop, or remember delete, case insensitive, or add. The user is Ahmed, and the IP address we are interested in blocking is as follows. So as you can see here, if we do IP tables minus NL, as you can see, let's go ahead and tell minus N1 var log active response. So that's the log. So there is no route to this IP address. If we go to test, as you can see here, indeed we've got an error, and the error is the IP address. Okay, and for example, let's provide a wrong password. I am going to execute the command, and you will see here that authentication failed. So we are logging everything accordingly. So let's provide the appropriate password, and we should see a great result. Okay, let's add a function, and remember, if we perform IP tables, remember the chain is empty. And now let's execute the command, execute the IP tables again, and indeed drop everything. Okay, this IP address. If we delete it, as you can see here, IP tables has been flushed. And if we cat var log, or if we tell, as you can see here, at the given time, the given IP address, which is the server IP address, adding a rule for 555 with action delete, okay, and if we do for here, we're gonna see add. Okay, so excellent. So that's all for the first section. Next, I am going to talk to you about if you have any problems with OOPs. Okay, I'm gonna record a video about object-oriented programming and how to create modules and packages, and then we are going to start talking about our main topic, which is Python and information security. Thank you.